All right, Algebra 2, here's our last video for section 5.1. We're talking about scientific notation here, right? So when we have a number that's expressed in scientific notation, so the highlighting is a little funky with the black background. Hopefully it doesn't look terrible. So it looks like this, c times 10 to the nth power, so some number times 10 to the nth power, where that number is between 1 and 10, and n is some integer, right? So that it's our whole numbers with including the negatives, right? So -1, -2, -3, but no decimals, okay? No fractions, no decimals, just whole numbers and their negatives. So let's go ahead and review, how do I write these in scientific notation? Well, 45 million, okay, remember that's 45, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6 zeros trailing behind it. So if I want to write this in scientific notation, well, our decimal is technically here because it's a whole number. And I ask myself, how many places to the left do I need to move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember, the rule is that the number has to be less than 10 and bigger than 1. Right now I'm at 45 because my decimal's here. 45 is bigger than 10, so I got to move it one more time. So I get 4.5 times 10. How many places did I go over? 7. Okay, same idea here with my tiny, tiny, tiny number. Okay, scientific notation is really good to help us express really minuscule little baby numbers and bigger numbers, right? Like in the millions, trillions, billions, etc. Okay, same idea here. So I got to make this number between 1 and 10. So here I got to move to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Because now here this is 1.29. And I move 6 places. Now I use my positives to express big numbers, and I use my negative to express small numbers, okay? So this is going to be 1.29 times 10 to the negative 6, because then when I go back, the negative 6 tells me to move this decimal place to the left. And for this one, the positive 7 tells you to move the decimal place to the right, okay? Quick little review of scientific notation. Now let's just kind of think about how we multiply and divide numbers that are in scientific notation. So this first one, right, it's kind of like using our exponent properties. We're going to go ahead and multiply the like terms. So by like terms, I mean these numbers in front. Let's multiply those together. 6.3 times 8.9. And then times 10 to the 5th power times 10 to the negative 12, right? So multiply the like terms together. Multiply the numbers in front, and then multiply the powers of 10. So 6.3 times 8.9, what is that going to give us? 6.3 times 8.9, that's going to be 56.07. So 56.07 times 10, using our exponent rules, 5 minus negative 12. So we're going to add those. 5 minus negative 12, that's going to be 17. So 56.07 times 10 to the 17th. Okay, but now we have an issue that we got to clean up before we finish. This first number needs to be between 1 and 10. Right now it's 56, so I got to move this decimal place over once. I'm allowed to do that as long as I also affect my 10 to the 17th, right? Well, I originally had to move, if I want to express this back in normal number notation, I have to move this decimal to the right 17 places. But now I moved it once to the left, which means I have to move it one more space than I originally had to get it all the way to the right. So that adds 1 to my exponent, right? So now I get 5.607 times 10 to the 18th. Okay, last example, same idea. Let's divide our like terms now that we're dividing here. 1.1 over 5.5 times 10 to the negative 3 divided by 10 to the negative 8. All right, 1.1 divided by 5.5, that's going to be 0.2 times 10 to the negative 3 minus negative 8 power. So -3 plus 8, that's going to be 5. 0.2 times 10 to the 5th. But now here's another issue. This 0.2 is not between 1 and 10. So I got to move it to the right once. So 2 times 10. And since I'm already ahead of myself, I moved it to the right once. I don't need to move it 5 times anymore. I need to move it 4 times because I already got ahead and moved it once over. Okay, so this is 2 times 10 to the 4th. All right, hopefully that sounds good. This should be review, scientific notation, okay? And we'll have some practice problems on it. So don't worry if you are a little confused by it. We'll practice this some more. All right, sorry for the longer set of videos, you guys. I just wanna make sure that we do enough examples. That way we kind of get this stuff down. That way it'll help us for the rest of the chapter, okay? Thanks for sticking around. See you in the next one.